Hey, welcome to What's Your Problem? I am your host, Scott Farrell. Now, keep in mind, these podcasts are for entertainment only. They're for fun. I'm not a licensed counselor. However, I am a pastor and former show host on the radio that did this for a living. We've just transformed so you can see me now. Today's topic is screaming kids' social function. All right, I'm not the first person that's had this happen, right? You've been to a social function, you got some kids that are being rebellious or yelling, screaming, chasing, disturbing, destroying, and it messes up your time at the function. Well, that's not any fun for anyone. So I'm gonna go over what happened to me recently. If it happens to you, it's probably gonna happen to me too, right? Social function, all adults except for one little child, okay, who hasn't had kids. Our youngest is 23. We've been in the same predicament, can't get a babysitter. Let's take him. Okay, but we actually taught our child how to act in a group of adults without electronics. Yes, we raised our child with no electronics. Now, keep this in mind, now we can't get him to text us back. For weeks, he does not get back to us because he didn't grow up texting people or having a phone. So it does have its give and take. But let's get back to today's topic. We're at a social function. It's newbies. We're all trying to get to know each other, icebreaker questions, whatever's going on. We're trying to, what's your favorite team? What's your name? What do you do? And we've got this child over here that is screaming. Like we're having to yell at each other. And okay, we've all been in this predicament where for about 2 or 3 seconds, our child's upset. All right, let's get it handled. Normally, people will grab their child and go ahead and get out of earshot, handle the issue, come back. Easy enough. We've all been there. We that have had kids. 45 minutes later, this kid's still screaming, still disrupting, still destroying. Nobody's done anything. And you can tell there's about 30 of us. Everybody's starting to get a little agitated with the situation. Finally, a neighbor, I don't know who this lady was, picks the child up. Still screaming, still yelling, no avail. 1 hour, I was actually timing it. It's a watch here. I'm timing how long it took. Finally, one of the parents takes the child away. You can see the shoulders of everybody just relax. And now we're not screaming at each other. And my thing is, I'm gonna say this, don't email me. When I was your age, I've said it, I couldn't believe my parents said it. We all say we're not gonna say it, I'm saying it now. When I was a child, especially that age, it was in the 1960s. There was no way an adult and the entire crowd was going to let a child scream and holler, throw a fit, and destroy the whole evening for people. It wasn't going to happen. Why do we do it today? That's always been my question. All right, I'm almost 60. Why are we allowing behaviors now that we didn't allow prior? It's a good question. We didn't with our kids. If our kids did that, we handled the problem and come back, But we went over what our child was supposed to do. So let's handle this, both sides, the crowd and with the parents. Let's do parent first. Rehearse what you're going to do. Okay, you got to take your kid out, and sometimes you can't get a babysitter. Sometimes you have to take your kids to work. We've done it. It's here's how you do it. Here's what you do. Here's my expectation. Here's the consequences, good and bad, if you don't meet the expectation. Remember this, behavior ignored, behavior condoned. A disruptive, screaming, rebellious child will be a disruptive, screaming, rebellious adult. If it's true, men only get older, they don't grow up. It's a joke, but imagine children that just get older and don't grow up. If you allow this now, you're never gonna have a moment's peace for one thing. And then look at long-term effects. If you don't teach the child how to act, people aren't gonna like them. They're not gonna invite them to stuff. They're gonna have trouble getting jobs. They're gonna have trouble holding down jobs. Because if they're constantly disrupting stuff and bringing drama and wanting attention, and it's all based on the external, which would be their self-esteem instead of self-discipline, they're gonna have a tough road to hoe, and they're gonna have a tough life. And chances are they're gonna go job to job to job, never have any cash in their pocket, not move out of your house, because if you didn't discipline them then, you're not gonna make them move now. Chances are you're not gonna make them get a job, not take care of themselves. You've created this perfect storm of ineptness, and now you can't figure out what happened. All right, so that's the parents. Let's go to the crowd. In every crowd, there's a senior person who has the authority. And I noticed in this crowd, there were two ladies that definitely had it and one man that definitely had it. None of the three of them said anything. Almost said something. I don't even know these people because you've got 30 people that deserve the respect of the group. All right, if you're speaking, I'm quiet so I can hear what you're saying, and I owe you that respect to listen to you. You're someone that I want to get to know, and I'm gonna expect you to listen to me when I speak. Very simple. It's the same rules we have in the professional world. In the professional world, we don't allow children to scream and holler and disrupt important meetings. So why do we do it in the social world? Okay, again, if it's not acceptable in one realm, it shouldn't be acceptable in the other, because that behavior will just continue throughout. So as adults, somebody's got to stand up and go, hey, wait a minute, can somebody handle that? Finally, somebody did, but I almost said it, and I didn't even know these people. So somebody within the group's already got to go, hey, here's our expectations. We want to show respect to everyone in the group. These are things we can't handle. We will not tolerate these. If I hurt somebody's feelings, I just don't care. The problem is we've danced around people's feelings so long, we're allowing behaviors to permeate society that don't work. I'm writing a children's book right now about parenting. So I'm writing an entire book about parenting, to how to make sure your kids are successful in life. Because as parents, our number one job is, number one, teach them about Jesus. But outside of that, our number one job is to get them independent of us as quickly as possible. That way, when they turn 18-ish, they're ready to go be adults and be able to tackle the world. That's our job. There's a reason why a bat mitzvah and a bar mitzvah are at a certain age. It's time for you to be an adult. Same thing here. So who gave out the rights? Okay, so why do you have the right or the latitude for your child to disrupt an entire hour-and-a-half meeting of adults who just wanted to relax on a Tuesday night or Friday night, whatever it was? You don't. It's like when you go to a restaurant. I always say, give me the section of the restaurant without the screaming child. Because when I go to a restaurant, I'm going to eat. I'm going to eat at a restaurant I like. I'm going to relax. I'm going to talk to my wife or my friends. I'm not going to listen to your child disrupt my entire evening because you're a bad parent. And you don't have enough self-respect or self-discipline to discipline yourself. So now it's bled over to your child. Same thing here as we went on through the evening and talking to the people. Nice fella. Father, great guy, great guy. You start to listen to people and you can hear them excuse things in their own lives, but also within their child's lives. And, what's the old saying? If you're good for an excuse, you're not good for much else. It was attributed to Ben Franklin, but we'll see who really said that. It's true. If you can make an excuse, you're not going to make much of a life, because you're always going to find an escape route to what you didn't do. So as parents, our job is to teach our children how to act in every situation. Because again, I said, 3 and above, all right, a 2-year-old, 2-year-olds are 2-year-olds. That's why you leave them with a sitter most of the time. Or stress, here's what you do. But 3 and above, start the social skills training. I used to be a special needs teacher. I've taught every category of special needs, every single one. I think the lowest IQ identification would be 20, all the way to, I think I had a student that was IQ of 145. So I've had those spectrum. I had the same expectation for the ones with a 24 IQ as I did for the ones with the 145 IQ. The ones with the 24 IQ were easier to deal with than the one with the 145 IQ, if you can believe that. Because we go out, we did community skills 3 times a week. Taught them how to ride the bus, whatever it was. We went out, when to be quiet, when we could have fun, how we conduct ourselves in public, because, they're going to watch me, they're going to mirror what I do. Well, your so-called typical normal kids, as people in my world would say, mirror you too. Well, the mirroring starts at home. So whatever I'm allowed to do at home or seen performed at home, I'm going to perform out in public. So do I think the kid learned how to holler, scream to get their way and get attention happen in public? Absolutely not. Behaviors are replicated in the home, and then they're shown outside. Parents used to accuse me all the time. You're the reason my kid disrupts. Au contraire. I did not program them from 0 to 7, and I don't live with you. I'm just with your kid 55 minutes a day. And by the way, I teach science. So I'm here teaching physics, biology, or chemistry, or whatever the topic is. It's my job just to teach a subject, an academic subject, not teach your kid how to act. That's your job. So keep this in mind because a behavior displayed in public has already been witnessed in private. Whatever in public, whatever's in public, in private will eventually bleed out to public. Keep that in mind. So what do I tell parents with this? Teach your kids how to act. If I'm stepping on toes, I just don't care. People deserve respect. People go out to eat, to have fun with their friends, be heard, talk, love, spend with family. It's not to hear your kids scream. People get on a flight, same thing. They're going from destination to destination and want it to be peaceful. Everywhere we seem to go, as far as my wife and I, there's a child, pool, whatever it is, the club. There's always one set of parents who don't know how to discipline their child, and then management does nothing about it. If you run a company, tell those people to leave. Would you rather lose 30 great customers and keep one who's going to tear your stuff anyway, or keep the 30 and get rid of one that's going to tear your stuff up? Understand this. If the child's undisciplined, the parents are undisciplined. They don't care what happens to your establishment. They don't care about the people around you. They don't care about anybody but who? Themselves. So if there's selfish people anyway, they're not going to pay for whatever they tear up. They're not going to apologize. They're not going to be prepared, and they're not going to be good employees. So go ahead and distance that and take the ones that are. And if you're one of those parents, please get some self-respect and some of that self-discipline and teach your kids how to act. Now, I'm not the only person. I go around and poll. When I write books, I will go around to restaurants especially and say, have you seen these things displayed? What did you do? What's your policy? How do you feel about it, right? And every time I say about screaming kids, the girls up front always go, I'm like, what's that? She goes, you know, there's a reason why you asked, not for a side of screaming kid with your order, right? And I said, yeah, well, that is true. And they're like, oh my gosh, you've seen, it's all, then they launch into a story of, you should have seen yesterday or today, or you see that mess over there, and it looks like World War III just bombed the restaurant. And it's because a parent didn't teach their kids how to act, and then the parent doesn't offer to pay for anything, and then they don't clean it up. Well, we never really had to worry about that because I taught my kid how to act. And I said, look, man, girls won't want to date you, and nobody's going to want to hire you if you act like that. That's all it took. He's like, okay, I like money, I like girls, okay. I'm going on with this program. And he's probably one of the most well-behaved kids that we know. People tell us that all the time. So you don't have the right to tear up other people's stuff unless you're going to write a check for it and pay for the employees to clean it up. So keep this in mind. You're probably sitting there going, I know somebody like that. Or I was at a meeting the other night, or I was on a flight, or I was at the airport, I was at a restaurant, or I was at the shopping center, we're experiencing it all the time now. So why don't we do something about it? If you're in public, stop putting up with it. Go over to the manager and go, I'm not going to put up with this, or I'm not going to eat here anymore, or I'm not going to shop here anymore, which I do. And then my wife won't let me give them a business card. Here, you're going to need my book. The other night, somebody did take my card, and they were like, I probably need it. So I thought that was pretty funny. That book will be coming out hopefully 2024-ish. So just look for that. Now, if you have any questions for me, now I don't read bad emails. If you got something bad to say to me, I've had many, many years of this where somebody's mad at me and they'll write 5, 6, 7 paragraphs, want everybody to read it because I somehow picked them out personally. Well, I didn't use anybody's name. So I'm not picking out you. I'm talking about situations. Don't email me. We just erase them. But if you have a legitimate question, send us an email. You can go to my personal website, scottferrell.com, SCOTFERRELL.com. On the airwaves, I was known as America's Behavior Expert. I kind of did the Mel Delilah thing. Delilah was fabulous, and I did the other side. I was a guy talking about it. Love lollipops, family dating, kids, you name it, we talked about it. And then we had a TV show that did it. So I consult with businesses and I consult with families or individuals, whoever needs our services, and I'm also a pastor. So you're going to get God, family, country, right? Or the spiritual side, the soul side, and the physical side, or the body side. Because we as humans are 3 components. All right. So, but if you have any questions, send me an email. Go ahead and share this like this so people can see it. This is the hot button where people go, I know somebody needs to hear this. Their kids are always disrupting everything. This is what I hear from people. So feel free to share that. Be careful how you share that because you might not be friends anymore when you do because they're going, what are you trying to say to me, man? So got to be careful with that. But like it, share it, subscribe. I try to get out a video twice a week normally. Getting used to not being on radio and getting used to being in front of a camera. So I've got a few episodes up right now, but I'll keep doing this, and I'll do more and more and more. I try to keep them under 10 minutes. Today I went a little long, but it's something that's got to be addressed in our today's society. All right, again, my website, scottfarrell.com, and I'll see you next time. Take care.